Okay, we're gonna talk about the new year, resolutions and routines, and how we're gonna make things magical. Then, wait, I'm gonna start by asking you, what are your feelings about 2019?
My feelings about 2019.
Yeah, or 2018 first, and then 2019.
Ooh, I don't know. Right now, I kind of just want to lay down.
Oh, so you don't want to do this?
Let's do it.
You have to wait a few hours to lie down.
It's so pretty out here.
Yeah.
It's so pretty. The sun is shining and the snow is fresh and sparkly. It's really pretty out here.
This is like the only time that Hunter Mile looks pretty. This one is buried in snow.
Covered in fresh snow.
Yeah. All right. Feelings about 2019. What do you feel about 2019?
About 2018?
2018.
My feelings about 2018. 2018 was a frustrating year. It was a lot of falling into old patterns. I feel like it was like another year for me to dump out and another move, some health issues, dealing with some stuff with my parents. It was a rough year in that I learned a lot from it. You?
It started off super frustrating. I was really excited, as I am every year. I was really excited for the new year and the things I was going to accomplish, and I had a lot of goals, fitness goals and website goals and lots of things. And instead of hitting the ground running like I really had planned and wanted to and was really motivated to do, was knocked down by that zombie flu.
Right.
And then from there it was a disaster for the first few months. I feel like it was the first 3 months of the year that I was really knocked down. It was that broken rib and just like a bunch of stuff, right? But we did have that conference in California, which was amazing, and that was in February, and that was really, I think, the first really good thing about the year. That was a really good experience. We learned a lot from that, and a lot of motivation and stuff came out of that. I think it really helped shape what our ideas about what we want from the website as well. And then, it was disappointing with the website with regards to that redesign that we did for last year. That was just such not a great experience to go through, and then the results were really lacking from where we wanted to be. And that was just frustrating to deal with as being our platform. I don't think either one of us felt really great about just the platform in general. Our site structure was kind of garbage and all that kind of stuff. But and then into the summer, then things really picked up for me in a lot of ways. We went to that conference in Vancouver with the girls, and that was great.
Yeah, the Motu Summit.
Yeah.
Which was about relationships.
And then right after that, then I went to the
Ancestral Health Symposium,
and that was in Montana. And then while I was there, I got to go to the Yellowstone National Park, which was a super cool experience. And even just the drive there was quite eye-opening. I really didn't know what that area of the world looked like, just south of the border.
It's pretty amazing.
It is quite a bit more beautiful than I thought. It was just going to be boring and just get me through this drive, but I actually enjoyed every bit of it. So there was quite a bit of that, and then we went to the summer camp for adults / festival, music festival, and that was quite fantastic. So there was a lot of connection type things, and being surrounded by like-minded people, activities that I was doing this last year. And And then, of course, summer here is just always great.
I realized my
something in
lifelong
there?
dream of having a garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went to Bali for a month. Of course, that's not something I can complain about at all. It was a great experience. I'd love to go back. And then the move, yes, the process of a move, I hate every bit of it. But it was definitely an improvement. So I am excited to be in the space that we're in and in the town that we're in now as well.
Yeah, I think it's a really great move in terms of the place that we're in has a lot of potential. It has a lot of the benefits of the old place, and that we don't have to worry about neighbors. We don't have to worry about
but our neighbors are noisy.
Well, our neighbors are noisy.
But yeah, and I feel a lot more motivated in there to be in the kitchen and that kind of stuff, and to be healthy. Like, there was so much light in that place, which for me is massively important.
And it's something our old house was lacking. Was
Super
kitchen
lacking.
light.
Yeah. And so I'm really 2018 was full of health disappointments for me, but
there was a lot of connection in there.
There was a lot of connection, and there was a lot of growth and experiences, which are all very important to me. So, yeah.
And for 2019?
It's up and down. 2019, as always, very optimistic and excited. I do again have very high hopes for physical improvement, just growth in general. But yes, I am definitely not just optimistic, but definitely planning on losing a bunch of body fat. I'm at the biggest that I've ever been. And it's been a little bit out of my control this last year, but
it's been a number of injuries of late.
Yeah, and I've still got a bunch of lingering stuff that's really preventing me from doing a lot, but at the same time, I need to embrace the things that I can do, as opposed to just wanting to do the things that I am used to doing and wanting to do. So
right. And we all fall into that rut, right? Like, I like to do things this way. I like to work these muscle groups this way.
Right.
And having to think outside the box to,
And being in this area that we're in, there should be hopefully more connection with people in our own town now. And again, just hoping to do more activities and have more experiences. Always wanting to try new things. And also professionally, I'm really optimistic with our new changes coming to the website. It's going to be such a better experience for visitors. It's going to be so much easier to get around. I think it's organized in a way that there's a lot more freedom for us to show our own personalities as well, and write about more than just food and whatnot. A lot more freedom in that way.
Yeah, but still being able to access our recipes and having the light in the kitchen, and we have these beautiful east-facing windows. That really helps open up the creativity so that we're getting more recipes too, instead of fighting for those.
And it's funny, like all of last year, I had high intentions. Is that right? You say it? Is that the English? Is that the English way of saying it? I had good intentions to start a daily morning routine, a healthy morning routine. And I'd done a lot of research about it at the beginning of the year, but did not ever integrate any of it into my daily practice, really. And my sleep habits are all over the place as well right now. So really 2019 again, this time like in the next couple days I really want to like come up with a plan of what I want. Maybe I can even find my notes from last year, which make things easier. But I do have like a bunch of like mental notes on things that need to be integrated, which is part of what I want to talk to you about right now, actually. But do you want to talk about your expectations for 2019 first?
My expectations for 2019. I always have a hard time with this. I was never one for making resolutions.
Yeah. Not New Year's resolutions. Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah. I think that when life becomes uncomfortable in a way that you don't want to deal with anymore, you make changes. And that's where I am. Is I need to make changes.
Yeah. So the last few years I've been trying to not fall into that when you need to make changes, but actually make changes when you want to make changes to life. Which I think is the difference between being reactive versus being proactive, or I guess proactive versus reactive.
Which is a great theory, but for me personally, I'm past that.
You're past that. What do you mean?
I'm past being proactive.
Oh yeah,
I am to
you
the
need to
point
respond.
where
Yeah.
I need to make
Right.
changes.
Yeah. Which is, if you're not being honest enough or aware enough of the changes that need to be made, then sometimes life does just smack you in the face and say, hey, you probably do need to make some changes. Which it sounds like is kind of what you're doing.
Yep.
So 2019 in general is what's going to be.
I'm not following you where you're going with this.
Your expectations of the year.
My expectations.
Or hopes and expectations.
Hopes and expectations. I'm
Kind
gonna
of like activities or anything that you're like looking forward to or hoping
I'm working hard to put myself as a priority.
Yeah.
And sharing that with our readers.
Yeah. Are you doing Paul? I just blanked on Paul's last name.
Paul Fishman's
self-love.
It's definitely something that's on my radar to check out.
Yeah.
And our readers should check it out too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I need to put an outline. I need to put together an outline. So like just talking about and I'm not feeling the greatest right at this moment.
Yeah.
But then I'm never feeling the greatest right at this moment. So
A lot because you're not doing any of those healthy, routine-y kind of things. Like food and rest and activity, etc. Yeah. So I haven't been doing any of that good stuff, so these are all things that I'm definitely integrating into my routine. Regular fitness, hopefully at the beginning of the day of some sort, and then additional activities as they come through the rest of the day. But like I've got a bunch of physiotherapy exercises and stretches that I haven't put into my daily routine. I just kind of do willy-nilly when I think about it, or currently when there's actually space on the floor in the new place. So we've both committed to the next couple days and cleaning up and finally like really just putting everything away, finish unpacking the boxes that are still
donating the things that are still kicking around.
And by cleaning up our environment, that's going to help declutter not only our space but also the energy in our minds as well, and also bought that other book that's kind of like a planner, and these are just like quick little deals. Like
It's not kind of. It is a planner.
yeah,
It's called the 5-minute planner.
Yeah. So like yeah, but it's also a form of journaling as well. So between the two, we're looking at like I think it's like a 7 to 10 minute kind of thing a day routine. Maybe a little bit longer some days, but anyway, so that. And that should help get me focused a little bit better on goals for the day, that kind of stuff.
Now, just a little side note, this is a man who fights against routine.
Yes and no. I want to have the flexibility to not stick to routine. But I think the basis of a routine is very helpful. But yeah, I don't like strict routines. That's definitely true. I like to be able to meander around. When something comes up, or if I need a day of rest and maybe axe stuff and just be gentle with myself. That's something in the last few years with my injuries that I've had to learn how to do. Yeah, let's see. Oh, and then meditating every day more in the morning than what I've been doing. I've been trying to do it at night, but typically that just puts me to sleep, which is good too and useful in its own way. But yeah, I want to start off the day with meditation as well. And with that too, the other part of that is also breathing more, which sounds ridiculous, I understand, but
It's an autonomic response to breathe.
But the 10 deep breaths, at least once a day, if not more. I guess once in the morning while meditating, and then throughout the day if I get anxious or stressed or pissed or whatever. Yeah. Which the benefits are like just.
I feel like there's a lot of there isn't a whole lot of studies behind it, but smoking can be one of the most difficult things to quit. And having never been a smoker, I don't totally understand or comprehend. But the inhalation and exhalation of smoking is breathing. You're doing a breathing exercise.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people, it becomes a habit.
Oh yeah, a lot of the benefit of when people think that like, oh, the smoking is helping with my anxiety, well, it might not be the smoking as much as like you're actually just taking the time
Breathing.
to breathe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as non-smokers,
we're not going to take up smoking,
right?
but we
We're
will
gonna take up breathing.
take up breathing.
Yeah.
Take a breathing break.
And not next to the dumpster like your coworkers do.
Yeah, no, because then you're just secondhand smoking. Which is
Well, that's
terrible.
but also maybe the dumpster isn't like the most
Right. Yeah.
amazing place for your 10 deep breaths.
That's true.
but, yeah.
That's true.
That one kind of blows me away that I don't do that more regularly, and that we don't all. It's almost like too easy or too simple to take seriously, maybe. But while I was in school for pharmacy, when we were doing the anxiety and depression, that kind of unit, one of the non-pharmacological interventions was like we just did this 10 and they got us in class to all we just took like a full couple minutes, and I was like, okay, everybody, we're gonna take 10 slow deep breaths. And it took forever, right? Like I was at 5 and I was just like, oh my gosh, is this ever gonna end? This is such a waste of time, blah blah blah. I got to 7 and I was like totally euphoric. It was such an intense, crazy shift. And yet knowing that even from experience, how often do I do that? Like almost never. I've probably done it once a year for the last couple of years.
Right. And this past year, having attended a rainbow pranayama breathing workshop, and then again at summer camp.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like being on drugs.
Well, in a way you are,
and it's just oxygen. It's just breathing. It's just a breathing exercise. It's
But it like
pretty intense.
it activates. It like gets your internal pharmacy moving. So, and you know, there's different types of breathing exercises, whatever. But like, yeah. So the ones that she's referring to, it was like being on drugs because they were like activating your internal pharmacy to have the same effects as drugs that some people take recreationally. So, but to do it endogenously and realize that you're able to like cause that kind of euphoric effect from breathing, it's kind of mind blowing. And like the experiences they were very mind blowing and quite the shift as well. So
I think it's the only thing that has held me together through my like 12-hour work days and is that I didn't abandon my twice-a-day meditation.
Nice.
Yeah, which is something I learned listening to a podcast, the This Is 50. After we went to the Masters of the Universe, Sherry Salata was a speaker, and she had worked with Oprah.
Right.
So the podcast is about her and her best friend and how they're tackling life as a woman in her 50s. And I was commuting nearly 4 hours a day, at least 3 times a week.
That is pretty
And listened to that podcast, and one of the lines that stuck with me is, if you don't have time to meditate, it means you need to meditate.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. So it's the one thing that I, hard chiseled out 20 minutes in the morning, every morning, and 20 minutes at night. And often I would fall asleep at night, but I took that time.
I just realized that one of like the obvious things that I haven't mentioned yet is definitely something that I have priority for, and I do plan on. I forget how exactly. We talked about this.
Yeah, and I posted something on Facebook Christmas Day too.
What was it that we were?
An old post.
What did we decide to do? Was it the Whole30?
We hadn't actually established, but we tossed around the idea of a Whole30 or.
I need to do something more challenging than just paleo, because that has become so. Like, I've done so many of those challenges in the past, and typically in the past I've tried to eat that way at home anyway, that I need something that is going to be more challenging, that will keep my head in it, that I will be more conscious of what I'm eating and cooking in that way. So that's why I'm thinking that. But for the first couple months, I do plan on being fairly strict with that, just to jumpstart again my health and fitness for the new year. Help start dropping some of the excess body fat that I have at the moment. Hopefully help with some of the inflammation and energy issues that I've got going on, and hopefully that'll help with some of the injuries and lack of physical activity and energy. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough cycle to be in.
Yeah.
When you're in that down cycle, because you feel crappy and you have inflammation, and that means you don't move your body, and then you make bad choices. Your body's craving certain things, or you don't feel like cooking, so you end up eating out, and you choose something that causes inflammation, and the inflammation means you don't move your body, and it's
you saying that, speaking of which, I was just thinking, like, I think I only talked about this in that one email I sent out, but so while maybe it was in one of the posts, anyway, while we were moving, that 2 weeks before we actually got into our place, we were kind of back and forth, neither of us were really cooking much at all. Like, it started off, we were eating fast food the first couple days, and then just kind of carried on. And then I actually kind of consciously made the decision that I was going to eat fast food at least once a day throughout the move. So that was a 2-week span that I did this. And like all the other healthy habits were totally out the window as well at the same time. And yeah, I felt like garbage. Like, not surprisingly, you know, but it was like kind of a nice reminder, which was one of the reasons that I wanted to do it. And then also just not just a reminder of how it felt for me, but also a reminder that like a lot of people, you know, this is how they eat and the kind of habits that they're fighting with. So I just thought it was like a nice reminder of people who, you know, we want to bring into this like healthier lifestyle of, especially around food, and like that, you know, that's something that really motivates me, is to help people with that transition. And like, you know, that's why we've got the ebook that we wrote to help with those kinds of transitions. It's so easy to just fall into those shitty habits, mostly because of easiness, I think. But man, it did not take long at all when we got back to when we'd actually moved in and the kitchen set up and we were cooking like real food again, and like it didn't take long to see certain improvements. Other ones took maybe a little bit longer. Like for me, I felt that my sleep took a little bit longer to improve, and sugar cravings lasted longer than I expected after I'd like reduced the sugar and processed foods that I was eating.
Right.
So that again was kind of a nice reminder to me that, and then again, we're only talking a couple of weeks of eating really piss poor. So for people who are like really ingrained in that, like, yeah, sugar addiction, I get why your initial experience with the paleo challenge was very different than mine with your what do you call it? Carb flu, yeah, sugar addiction. So
and then
it's gorgeous here.
Everybody is different too, right? In that, you know, you could try a keto challenge in January.
Yeah, that's true. That would be a good one actually to do again.
But
yeah,
mine
that's
would
a good
have
idea.
to be adapted.
Right.
Because I need a higher net carb with my thyroid not functioning.
Yeah. So, and one of the other things around sleep was, I can't remember who I was listening to. Oh, it might have been the human, what was that called again? Do you remember?
The human experiment?
I can't remember what it was.
Or the human experience?
Anyway, they were talking, it was the sleep one, and they were, one of the, I think he was like a sleep coach or something. One of his strategies was to get people to think of their day not starting when they wake up, but actually when they go to bed. And by shifting that view, then there was a higher priority put on getting to bed early. And I think that's something that I would really benefit from. You know, like for all of this year, in fact, actually, like right from the beginning of 2018, I had wanted to change my sleep habits so that I was waking up earlier and getting an earlier start to the day.
And there have been some stretches where that has happened.
Yeah, for not very, I mean, in Bali, that was easier. Partly because of the time change, it was just like, I just started doing it right as I got there just because of the time change. But, yeah, there's been a couple short periods, but it didn't last long. And part of it was just that I wasn't putting a high enough priority on getting to bed early. Yeah, so, and I know that's going to be a bit of a challenge too with the apartment that we're in, on certain nights where it's pretty noisy downstairs, but yeah, anyway, let's see, sleep. And probiotics, just the Just Thrive probiotic. Definitely going to be integrating that again into the daily routine. And as well, related even, is the water kefir Holly makes. I'm going to try and remember to drink that every day.
You have to, otherwise it piles up in the fridge and then we have no room for anything else.
I'm good when you remind me.
Hey!
Like, I like drinking it.
Hey, Raj.
But then, like,
drink the water kefir.
You know, if I'm, like, not on a good sleeping routine and you're off to work before I see you and you don't remind me, then I kind of totally forget about it. But anyway. Yeah,
I give these passive-aggressive post-it notes. Passive-aggressive post-it notes all over the kitchen.
Oh, one of the things I do on the regular is using my beauty counter eye cream. What's it called?
Eye Rescue.
Eye Rescue cream.
Yeah.
Eye Rescue. Anyway. And that is good. That is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is good.
Yeah, I like that.
It's cooling.
Yeah.
They have some cooling masks too. Cooling eye masks.
Right.
I think they're just
Probably
a
wouldn't use
Christmas
that
thing.
like an everyday though. Like that would probably.
No, once a week though.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to eliminate some toxins, and a big one for me is putting myself as a priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get specific.
Get specific?
Yeah. How are you gonna?
Well, I'm not sure yet. I need to put an outline. I need to make an outline.
Okay.
And I need to do some self-reflection.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
So none of those ideas that you want to bounce around right now?
Not right at the moment, no.
Oh, okay. Alright.
No, I
That was
will-
actually my
I
whole
will
reason for this
share
video.
them.
Or my expectation for this video.
Oh, it's for me to share my outline? Well,
If you're not there yet, then that's fine.
You
But
can't always get what you want,
Yeah,
Raj.
yes.
Yeah, I need to make it clear in my head first.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because I know what I should say, and I know what I should do, but I don't want to shoulda myself. I need to be clear and present in my decisions and come up with an outline, which I will then share.
Well, I think right there, I think is a good share in the way that you're going to approach it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, same. I mean, like, everybody knows what they should do for their health, right? Like, yes, I should exercise more. Yes, I should eat cleaner, more whole, real foods. Less processed garbage. And, yeah, I should meditate. And
I should be grateful.
I should stretch. Call my mom more often.
You should call your mom more
all
often.
those kinds of
It's true.
things.
Have you ever heard the book A.J. Jacobs, Drop Dead Healthy? I don't think I've ever shared that with you.
No.
I have an audio book on one of my devices somewhere, and he spends a year and he goes through and does all the things that everyone suggests.
Oh, I don't know.
that he
I don't think I knew that you listened to that.
yeah.
Somebody else has told me about it though. Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually got a new book out about gratitude. They were interviewing him on the CBC the other day, where he does this gratitude exercise, where he loves coffee, so he thanks his barista for making his coffee, and then he takes it one step further and he goes to Ecuador, where they grow his coffee, and thanks the farmers, and he thanks the machine guys, and he thanks.
Is his like whole thing about like mocking this, like doing healthy things, or
No, he's not mocking them. In Drop Dead Healthy, he's actually trying out all of the things
Right.
that you should should have a stand-up desk. You should walk while you do this.
Right.
You should
spend this much time doing this a day, this much time
and
doing
he
this
actually
much
goes
day.
and tries out a number of different things.
Okay.
He talks to a guy about the paleo diet. Yeah, it's a pretty great book. I'm interested in his new book about gratitude. There's a laundry list of things that we all should be doing.
Yeah.
But you have to make changes that are important to you and work for you, and then not worry about all the other things, so that you're not always feeling like you're failing.
Right. Yeah. And part of it is like your motivation as well. Like I said, yes, there's this list of things that you should do and that we all know. But what is, there's this question in a lot of these companies like Beauty Counter and a couple other things that I've been a part of in the past. Like, what is your why? Like, why are you doing these things? Why are you meditating? Like, what is your individual reason for choosing to do these activities? And if you don't have them and you're just doing it because that's what you're supposed to do, then yeah, there's a good chance that you're not going to keep doing it unless you're seeing benefit from it that is worthwhile for you, and that you're aware enough of what those benefits are.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just doing it because it's January 1st and you got to get healthier, and you go to the gym with everybody else in January, which is like the most miserable time to be in the gym because there's just so many people in there. But like, that's not motivating enough for most people, right? So it's no surprise that so many things end after 3 weeks into January, kind of thing, right?
Right.
So, you know, like, you've been talking today about how it seems like you're more aware of your why, and so from there being more specific about how you want to change things this year. Like, it's really promising, and I, you know, am optimistic to see how things play out for that.
Yeah, I can guarantee that it's not going to be pretty, and it's not going to be a straight line, and it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
But that's okay,
Yeah.
because I'm not alone in that. You know,
Yeah.
there's so many other people that can identify with my story and what's happening, and see parallels in their own lives.
Yeah.
That I have a really great support network, and they may or may not.
Yeah.
You know, like it's comforting to be able to reach other people and let them know that they're not alone in this either.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the reasons we do this video. Boom.
Yeah. And it is beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see through the window at all, but there's snow-covered trees, and the sun is setting, so it's like pink and purple. Yeah.
Did I ask you other questions in the beginning, or that was it?
I think that was it.
Alright.
Yeah, trying to establish and really dig into my own changes and doing them for nobody else but myself.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. Tell us what your changes are going to be, or what changes you've made for yourself, or your process behind it. I want to hear these stories.
Yeah.
And mostly because I'm looking for ideas.
Yeah, and also because we don't all need to reinvent the wheel. Like, learning from other people's successes and failures is, you know, helpful, so that we don't all have to go through the same garbage, right?
And learning experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Peace.